very thought-provoking. So without further ado, we have another speaker, and this one is very interesting. Mr.Worapoj, actually he is the founder and the CEO of Chosen Digital, and it's a startup company with the aim, or let me say, ambitious vision of real life, transforming the way we transport and our energy grid worldwide. But I mean, despite this, I mean, his background is in engineering, but Worapoj has been deeply passionate about Buddhism, and I think it is very interesting to listen to him about the issue of science and religion. So, please, Worapoj.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lee. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Worapoj Chosen. Many people call me Chosen as well. I'm the founder of Chosen. Actually, I'm the climate tech startup in Thailand, but I also very passionate about Buddhism. The technology is my career, but my mind is on Buddhism. I study Buddhism even before I study others, because I also did a month. So the topic today is about how science and technology have proven Buddhism. But actually I'm not that expert, but I just like to share my research on the technology side, on the Buddhism side. I'm also practiced this month for a while as well. It's okay. I got some awards. This is on the news that I got world champion for the tech startup globally from Prime Minister of Vietnam, and another one is globally awards that I got a first prize globally from Taiwan government as well. And actually, I got some awards like first prize of the Thailand National Awards, and first prize of the Dental Fund, and also first prize of Startup Connect from the government of Thailand, and also Shark Tank Thailand is a quite famous TV program, and also like the first prize globally from Taiwan, first prize globally from Prime Minister of Vietnam, and also from Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia. This is my career that I fully on the technology side and on the computer science. This is after I got some awards, I got some of the media in Thailand, also from the region, but mostly about the climate technology. It's not about Buddhism. But on my passion, I'm still in a monk. I also study about how to know my mind, because I know everything. I know a lot of technology, but the most important is mind that people have to know as well, because we know many things, but we never know how to control our mind. We know how to think a lot, but we never know how to stop. This is a big question. Do you know the exact time we die? This is a big question to me as well before I think about why I study about Buddhism. But I think none of us know when is our time. But what I have to tell you, because we already die every minute, because we inside the time. Time is limited, and also everyone is dying. And what is the time? What is really is the time? Because when we think about the time, mostly people think about other things, but the time is with us, but we never study about this. It's not about clock. We think about time. Many people think about the clock, but actually the clock is not a time. The clock is people made to assume that it's a time. But we make a mistake a lot, because if we think the clock is a time, we are mistaken, because we think every clock of us, every time of us are the same, are constant, but the time is really not. The time is not constant. Every time of every person, and we even think the time is longer, like the time of Earth and the time in the Sun, and also the time in other planets are not the same. The time is not constant. But this is proven by scientists already. Einstein found this, that the time is not constant, and its length, its strength is different from each person. But we feel confused because our clock is the same, right? But if we know more and more on the even past, now, and future, there's evolution. If you know about the time, and also the mind. Einstein think about the time of each thing is moving, and it's not the same. The time on the train, that we're moving on the train, and the time on the faster that we move, the time will be shorter. The time will be longer as well. And the time in the space is different in each place. This is quite confused because we're still using the watch, right? Actually, too easy to understand the time is the speed of light. No one knows this before. The time is speed of light means if we go faster, until we reach the time of the speed of light, the time could be stopped. And when we know the time could be stopped, if we go faster than the light, we can be even beyond the time as well. This is also proven by the science. This is the time and space in every planet are different. The time in the big planet is lower than the time in the smaller planet. Like the Earth, the time on the Earth is lower than on the Sun. The Sun is 10 times slower time than the Earth because of the gravity. And this is also on the scientific proof. This is a space-time.
Time does not beat uniformly throughout the universe. Clocks on the moon beat a little bit faster than clocks on the planet Earth. On Jupiter, clocks beat slower than on the planet Earth. The heavier the planet, the slower time beats. We think that at the very center of the black hole, time stops.
And even we go to the black hole, the light will be stopped, and the time will be stopped as well. The time is not constant and grow in the future as we think before. Actually, the time can be back and forth as well. And the time is the speed of light. When you see the time on the Earth and the time on the Sun, it's different because on the Sun is bigger and more gravity. The bigger gravity makes the light slower. And when the light is lower, the time is also slower as well, because the time is a light. And this is already proven by the scientific. So if I'm your twin, I born at the same day as you, and you live in the sun, I live in the earth. When I'm 18 years old, you're just 8 years old. When we met each other again. This is also already proved. This is very strange. So the time is faster with the smaller planet and slower with the bigger planet. The time is the speed of light. And if you go faster, the more we go faster, the time will be slower because the time is light. When you go faster until the speed of time, the time will be slower. And this is also already proven. That if we go faster, the time is slower. We check the time on outside of space, like the satellite. The time on the satellite is slower than the Earth. And now we use the GPS. And the GPS, the time on the GPS on the Earth and on the satellite are not the same. We also proven that. Every minute we have also proven that. And this is already proven first time by the scientist, that he used the atomic clock on the plane, that he go fast. And another person will check another clock on Earth. So we set the time exactly the same. But when we come to the Earth again, the time on the plane is slower. Every time they check, it's always slower. And the faster the plane, the time even is more slower as well. And this is already proven that we are on the Earth time, and another one we are on the faster speed, so the time will be slower. But if the time is the speed of light, and if we go at the speed of light, the time will stop. So faster than light means beyond time. So scientific already proved that the time is not constant and can go faster and slower as well. And it can be beyond time if we can go faster than the light. This is scientific theory, but Einstein could not find something that can be faster than light. But this is already proven by the slower and faster. So that means Einstein believed in the time machine. And many scientists also believe in the time machine already.
This experiment was carried out in
This
1971
a lot of
when
experiments around
scientists
the world.
flew an atomic clock around the world and then compared it to one on the ground. As Einstein predicted, the two clocks no longer agreed. They differed by only a few hundred billionths of a second, but very real proof of motion's effect on the passage of time.
Einstein's theory has been tested again and again and again, and it all hangs together. It really forms the basis for the way we understand much of the way nature works.
These effects, which used to be considered sort of obscure and very small, are very in your face with today's technology.
With the discovery of this unexpected link between space and time, Einstein realized that the two could no longer be thought of as separate things. Instead, space and time are fused together in what came to be called space-time.
Einstein unified the idea of space with the idea of time into this four-dimensional structure called space-time.
And this fusion of space and time would lead Einstein to perhaps the most mind-bending realization of all: the sharp difference we see between past, present, and future may only be an illusion.
Time is just illusion that you never know before. Actually, Buddha found this 2,500 years ago, that the time is illusion. Even our body that we dead is not our own. The mind can go beyond time. This is what Buddha said. Okay, this is GPS that I told you. This is already proven every day that the time on the satellite is go faster than the Earth. Another thing, the satellite have less gravity than the Earth as well. So the time in the satellite is slower, 10 kilometers per day, that we have to adjust every day from satellite time. And this is like twin paradox, that I have a twin, but my twin go outside the Earth and go to another planet. When he come back, he may be still young, but I get older already, because the time different. This is already proven, because we check the time on the plane, and it's totally different. But if we go faster and faster, go further and further, the time will be more and more different. This is already proven. But when does time stop? In the scientific theories, the most advanced here that we know the time will start on the Big Bang. Because why? We know that we like to know the space, the distance of the space. But after we check the distance, it goes faster and faster, and also bigger and bigger at the speed of light. So we can check the time in the future is bigger for the space. But the time in the past, the space will be smaller and smaller until it has one point. That is the starting of the time. That is the Big Bang theory. But before the time, there's still something that we don't know. Because it's not just only start from Big Bang, but before the Big Bang, there should be something that, like empty space, that this is beyond the time. So Buddha used to say that he saw the universe start and stop, and like end unlimitedly. That point is the one who can see the space growing, start and stop as well. And the speed of light is people believe, in the scientists believe, that if we can go faster, we can break through the time. But Einstein cannot find something that can be faster than light. As I say, nothing can be traveled faster than light on the mass. So this is Einstein's belief, but Einstein still cannot find, because he never studied about Buddhism. He never know about the mind, that the mind can be faster than the time. This is already proven by Buddhism before, that past, present, and future are illusion. We can see many of the monks who practice and you can see the past. You see the future as well. This is already proven by mind that we can practice. I also used to practice this, but I'm not that good. But I proven that this is real. This is totally real. Mind is not a mass. The mass of Einstein cannot go faster than light, but mind is not mass. Mass only body, but mind can jump across the time and space. And also mind can see the past and future, and mind can go beyond time. That means no time means no day. We can see how fast our mind can go compared to the light. That you know that if the speed of light, the light takes 8 minutes from sun to our eyes. So what we saw the light on the sun today, now is 8 minutes past. It's already past, it's not now. So it's 8 minutes. But if you use mind, immediately you can see the light of the sun. So the mind is faster, and we can see more and more space. And we compare the Einstein Buddhism. Time is not absolute. People believe that time is absolute. Everyone time the same. But Einstein found that every planet time is different. Everyone time is different. And Buddha say local time flow differently. In many planets also different time before. And time runs slower near the massive object. So there are also years in some world, and a day in some world as well. This is Buddha you say as well. Beyond the speed of light is beyond time. And Buddha say time can be beyond time as well. And we might move backward and forward, like we see the past and the future. And Buddha say mind can see the past and the future. So everything that Einstein found can be answered by the function of the mind. But Einstein could not find a way to escape time. Einstein know that he could not find. But Buddha enlightened, and he said akaliko is a timeless. So actually, Buddha already said about timeless already. And also nobody, this is beyond death and beyond time. It's like Einstein is a time illusion, and Buddha said it's no birth, no death. Actually, it's the same. Actually, it's beyond time. And how can we be beyond time? Because if we know that mind could be beyond time, but like the meditation, to practice, to know the mind, and to release the body is on the mass. The body cannot be beyond time because mass cannot go faster than light. But only mind can go faster than light. If you like to go beyond time, we have to separate from the body and the mind first. This is the first basic. That's from the meditation on the chant 4, the level 4, the mind and body start to be separate. And we used to use mind to see the body, to study about body. And we study more and more study, we will know that the body is not us. That is, the more we study about body is not us, the mind will know that they will be released and we will go beyond time. That is the first basic. That is the Buddha try to teach us how to practice the mind body first, to separate. This is the basic. And if we have more and more, like body is in time and the light, because the body is to be dead, because the body is in time. So mind release mass body can be beyond time and death as well. This is on the science theory. And the Buddha said there's 3 signs. Light is a 3 sign. There's three things that we have to know, that the body is not stable, have to be dead, and the body is tukka, is have to be dying every day, and also it's not anatta, it's not ourself. This is the first basic, that the one who understands this, the mind can release the body. And after the mind can release the body, the mind will know themselves that it could be beyond time. And after we know a lot of things, that we can see the past, we can see more and more past life. That we are not just first born. We born many lives already. But we never know We are inside the time. Every time we born, we dead. Every time we born, we dead. Because we are inside the speed of light. We are inside the time limit. So that's why we dead every time that we born, because we don't know this one. And this is, Buddha said, why we born, rebirth unlimitedly, because we never know this truth. What Buddha said, he liked to teach us how to know this truth, that Vatta Samsara is a santala, like recycling of the process of birth, death, and rebirth without ending. Actually, the mind can be beyond that as well. But this is a body. So, the big question is, do you know the exact time that you will die? But actually, it doesn't matter. Because can your mind learn to go beyond death while you are still alive? This is the most important that we have to know. But actually, the monk who practices this can even know his death as well, if you practice enough. But for us, if we're not that rich, but at least we know that there's a point that the mind can go beyond death. One day, this is a word Buddha tried to teach everyone that nirvana is important for everyone. The mind is important for everyone. This is a real truth that everyone never known before. So the science without religion is blind. Religion without science is blind. So everyone should know the science, and everyone should know the religion. So it's a two things parallel together. That now we think about only the science, but actually religion is the most important thing that we have to study as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Krungthepkreetha. I think it will be very fascinating for me to rewatch Interstellar after listening to your presentation. It's a movie about this space mark,
that
and
movie.
it involves the concept of time. When you go to the other planet, time goes slower, far slower than the slow on Earth. I mean, scientists in general and physicists in particular pay attention to the concept of time, while the Buddhist practitioner or monks pay lots of attention to the concept of mind. And after listening to you, I think we all can see that the intersection between Buddhism and science opened up a fascinating and increasingly relevant field of inquiry. And by illustrating how contemporary scientific discovery regarding time, in particular, converge with this principle, you have highlighted the enduring relevance and intellectual robustness of the Buddhist concept in our modern era. I think this is also very fascinating. So thank you once again for your insightful contribution. Yeah. So now we have to. I think we should turn to our final panelist, Pha Methi Wachara Bandit. Unfortunately, he